part of the work that I did, though, was to release the outcome.
Okay, so you went into that conversation with a vision, but you were not attached to that vision.
Yes.
I spent a lot of decades figuring out how not to be in flow with rhythms and seasons and instead forcing things to be the way I wanted them to be when I wanted them to be.
You know, how I think it's affected me is to kind of roll with what things are happening, to be aware. You know, I think, and we're going to get into this, but sometimes you're going to put a little more out than you're going to get back. And a lot of people think, oh, it's not working, I'm going to stop.
Welcome back, Superstar. I am here with Maryanne Dersch, my friend, my client, a beautiful human being who supports nonprofits in building and growing their influence in the world. What I want to dive into in this conversation is how influence touches every aspect of life. A lot of times I know that people come to me or maybe come to you because they want to develop influence in business. They want to develop influence in sales or in marketing or in a specific area. And that's all well and good. And what I've learned is that when you develop the influence skill, it impacts everything. So let's talk a little bit about that. Where have you seen influence make a difference in your life?
I feel like, again, that the definition of influence is in getting people I have no authority over to do what I want them to do.
Okay.
Right? In a way that they're excited to do it. And when you can do that, it's like a superhighway into the world. And what I found is people want to be like, oh, that's personal and that's professional, and there's these two different ways of living. When actually it's all combined, right? And my ability to give value in one area increases my ability to give value in another area. And that's what I found for me is this was a whole other way of communicating to where I don't have to pitch or sell even my husband on something, right?
Okay, wait, tell us the story.
Okay, so
I know the story, but I want you to know the story.
When we went to see Dr. Aaron, right, and our one of our coaches, and he says, "What do you want?" And I'm like, oh, "My house is driving me nuts, teenagers and COVID and blah blah blah." And he's like, "I want to update the house." And he goes, "Do you want it or do you choose it?" I'm like, "I choose it," right? The energy of choice, I choose. So, and also I knew that I needed to get my husband on board, and I knew I didn't want to pitch him, sell him on it.
You wanted to enroll him. So you wanted it to feel like his idea?
So we're sitting out watching the game and at this bar. And so we're next to each other, right? And I said, "So how's the house feeling for you? What's the house?" My friend Katie has this saying, she's an interior designer, and your house should hug you on the way in and wave you goodbye on the way out. He goes, "Well, I'm feeling like the opposite, I said, "I know, it feels so run down." I said, I just feel like, I don't know, I feel like it's time for an update, but I don't know, what are you thinking? And I was very open-ended now. I'm going to tell you, I had a plan, I had a vision, I had and he wasn't ready to hear any of that, right?
Okay.
And through this conversation of me just saying "So how do you feel about the house? How's that going for you?" What it came down to was he was in. His concern was what pot of money pays for this?
Okay.
I'm like, so what I'm hearing is you're committed to the project. I said, well, I don't care about that. And if I would have come to him and say, I have these plans and here are these ideas, he would have felt pitched, and
Got
sold.
it. And he would have put up resistance, you
Yes.
think. So
Yes.
if you'd approached your husband hey, I want to do this thing. Are you in or are you out?
Right.
No,
look, honey, look at this vision. And then immediately that puts you on the defense, or could put you on the defense, could put him on the defense.
Right.
So he's like, well, because he feels isolated from the process. It wasn't his idea. He starts feeling out of control.
Right.
And I want to tell you that part of the work that I did, though, was to release the outcome.
Okay, so you went into that conversation with a vision, but you were not attached to that vision.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So what I figure is how I help myself through this is it'll happen eventually. Okay. Right. This may not be the time, and whatever happens, I'm okay. So it was important for me because if I would have felt like pushing it, he would have sensed that, and he would have sensed the pressure. And again, most communication is not unspoken. Our brains are really good at just feeling things and put up some resistance.
Well, and it feels too, and maybe this is a new conversation, it feels like it's getting into alignment with natural rhythms and seasons. And I know that for myself, and I'm guessing you too, I spent a lot of decades figuring out how not to be in flow with rhythms and seasons, and instead forcing things to be the way I wanted them to be when I wanted them to be. And so one of the biggest breakthroughs I had, and I know it was a big breakthrough for you, was the concept of the seasons of business. So let's go ahead and talk about the seasons of business. The idea that there are rhythms and seasons, there are phases, there are natural ebbs and flows of business, and it behooves us, it supports us to align with those natural seasons and to know what they are so that we can understand when we're in them.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I'd love to just have a conversation about the seasons of business. First of all, why is it important? How has it affected you? And then we'll dive into what the seasons are.
Okay, how I think it's affected me is to kind of roll with what things are happening, to be aware. I think, and we're going to get into this, but sometimes you're going to put a little more out than you're going to get back. And a lot of people think, oh, it's not working, I'm going to stop. And where I knew, no, this is how it's supposed to be, right? Like there's certain things. And also I feel like in our culture, we're just sort of addicted to like the hustle culture, right? Like go, 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 go. And you have to, and if you have a business, you have to work super hard and super long hours. No, it can actually be easy, right? And we were taught, I think, to value hard work. If it's hard, then it's worthwhile. What if the ease was worthwhile? That was the signal, right? Like you said, follow the free energy. You move towards the ease and the flow. And working with the clients where the energy just flows and it's so exciting, you can have more than that. You can have a lot of that, right? That doesn't have to be oh, I have this one client that's great and everybody else drives me crazy. You can have all of that.
Right. If that's what you claim and desire, which kind of leads me to the first season of business, right? And by the way, just to give credit where it's due, the first time I ever heard this was from my mentor, Jake Merriman. Now, I don't think he came up with it, but I've searched and I have not been able to find the original source of this. So I'm going to credit him and also say that both you and I have taken this content and run with it. If you want to learn more about that, you can check out Maryanne's book, her podcast. She's got an email list. You can get her stuff at courageouscommunication.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. You can get her stuff at courageouscommunication.com. Thank you, Maryanne.
And because it's kind of a bummer, because ideation is filled with all that promise and possibility. Now it's concentration and focus. And there comes really there's a faith aspect to this, right? Just faith and trust. Trust. If I just keep doing what I'm doing, something's going to happen. Where I saw my clients were getting really stuck is that phase 2, concentration and focus.
Yep.